Hello and welcome back to Arbitrary 20. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the most broken rules in D&D 5e and the sort of weird situations they can lead to.
Yeah, starting off, we're going to talk about fall damage, specifically max fall damage, because I think it's really dumb. So, do you want to talk about how fall damage occurs, essentially?
Yeah, every 10, I think, most people know, but in case you don't, every 10 feet you fall is 1d6 bludgeoning damage, but that has a maximum of 20d6, so you can never take more than 20d6, even if you, fall from orbit.
Yeah, so 200 feet is the max, and I looked it up just out of curiosity before, and human terminal velocity is 1,500 feet. There's a very large difference there. And I feel like for later game parties, you could jump off anything, and it's almost trivial.
I think it's like a 7th level barbarian, you can do it fine, or something like that.
Yeah. It's, on average, 70-ish damage, which, I feel like...
You can take half that if you're...
You'd have to rage before... Well, no, because you fall 500 feet every 6 seconds, so if you rage, you just jump straight off your life.
6 seconds,
And if they roll low... They could theoretically roll
just fine.
Yeah, a 20. If they got insanely lucky. I just think late game, you have an interesting conundrum where your players need to deal with something, and their choice is just to jump off because they can, is, I think, a little sad and a little dumb.
Even the wizard.
Yeah. If a 10th level wizard can survive that much fall damage, it's a little too low.
Probably.
When I was DMing, you guys legitimately considered jumping off a 700-foot cliff because the helium was just whatever.
Cleric would be sure, 10 minutes, they're all healed up.
Exactly. I don't think that's reasonable. I think realistically, your body would be gone.
Yeah, probably.
They couldn't identify your teeth.
I feel a little bit of superhuman is okay, but I feel like that might be a bit too much.
Yeah. I agree. There is magic and superhuman involved, but there's only so much your body should be able to withstand, and 20d6 is not it. Even maybe 60d6, something a little higher.
Yeah, you could modify it or just uncap it, right?
Yeah. Could you imagine just they fall 1,000 feet and you're like, all right, bring the dump truck of D6. Back it up. Yeah. I think that, I just think it leads to dumb situations where some of your difficulties are trivialized by how low the damage can be for parties. Yeah.
Also would open up even more opportunities for stupid builds
grapple fly.
Yeah, grapple fly drop, yes.
Or the one I'm trying to make where you throw them on your steed and have your steed fly up in the air and turn upside down, So we'll see. We'll see if we get there.
Yes. We'll move on, I think, to the invisible condition. And
my favorite.
Yes. So, the funny interaction here that I think of is even if you have something like True Sight, you can see them, but that does not remove this second bullet point of invisibility. The spell has to be fairy, or whatever you do has to be specifically something like Fairy Fire that removes all benefits of invisibility. Otherwise, attack rolls against the creature still have disadvantage, and that creature's attack rolls still have advantage.
Mm-hmm. And this includes the spell See Invisibility.
Yes, See Invisibility does not prevent the second bullet point of the invisible condition.
Why would you use the spell? You barely use it. Yeah, it still sucks.
It's already pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, to be fair, this does make Greater Invisibility an incredible spell on the right character, but...
Yeah, but it goes against all intuition.
All reason, yes.
And
most people probably don't even realize this is a thing.
And most people, And most people who encounter would probably be like, that's just dumb, I'm not going to do it that way, which is perfectly valid. That's why it's D&D,
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, I guess. It's just so disappointing.
Yeah, there are some cool things that if you keep it that way. But
It definitely helps out invisibility, but I really don't know if the greater invisibility needs to be helped out.
Yeah, I don't know. True. I mean, it is a weird intention, but it was actually confirmed to be the intention. I don't know. Maybe like true sight and things like that aren't supposed to like fully reveal or something like that, and you still get some benefit from it, but they know you're there.
But what benefit are you getting if they can see you? You know what I mean? Like, you're getting the benefit of disadvantage against you because they can't see where you're actually at when they're attacking, right?
I mean, they can like see you, but you're not like fully. It removes half. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the real intention there, but like
I could kind of see some reasoning, but not with see invisibility.
But fairy fire like perfectly outlines you in light. And,
yeah. But does it really perfectly outline you, or just like, you know what I mean? It's kind of it's a little sticky there. I do in 1D&D, the current iteration, this is fixed. Right?
I believe so.
Yeah. But we're looking at that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I think that's about it for that one.
Yeah.
What did we want to do next?
I think in a similar vein, talking about how fog cloud interacts is similar, so we can go over it quick, but it doesn't really make sense to me if you want to explain that.
Yeah, so fog cloud creates a 20-foot radius or bigger if you upcast it, area that's heavily obscured. And if the ruling you're specifically talking about here is if one person's in the fog cloud and one person is out of the fog cloud, they're both heavily obscured from each other, and thus a creature effectively suffers the blinded condition when trying to see something in that area. So, blinded condition. Creature, the main thing here is the second bullet point is attack rolls against them have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. But if both players or both creatures are both under this, then it just defaults to straight rolls.
Yeah, which I guess I get, but like it's just weird the way it comes across. Like, you would assume that both players would have disadvantage because they can't see each other. That would be the assumption. And I'm not saying fog clouds.
Most tables probably, yeah.
I would assume so. And fog cloud's by no means a bad spell. Just the way this interacts is just like doesn't follow lines of reasoning in my mind. I get that it follows D&D rules, but not real life.
Yeah, mechanically it is pretty interesting though, because like if the entire group of enemies for some reason has advantage against you somehow, and you heavily obscure yourself from them with something like this, then you just turn all of those to straight rolls, even if it's in melee. But. Yeah.
But if they had straight rolls and you wanted to then get disadvantage, you can't get disadvantage with a disadvantage attacks against you, which I feel like is like, damn.
It's weird.
It's a little weird. I would still take fog cloud sometimes. I mean, if they don't know you're there, they're still playing Battleship. So if they're shooting into it, the straight roll doesn't necessarily matter if they're not choosing the right square. Is usually how that would be ruled. So I just thought it was similar to how invisibility works, and it didn't make me feel happy when I saw it.
Strange, yeah.
You kind of ruined my night when you told me that one night.
Moving on to another one that you might end up ruining my night is flying. So the thing here, just a little interaction that it's actually not up here. I don't know exactly where it is, but so going prone while you're flying costs 0 movement, and you can only be prone if you have hover or you're being held aloft by magic, which a lot of the subclass abilities like Genie, Twilight Cleric, or just the fly spell do, so it's pretty easy access, to be fair. So if you're against a bunch of ranged enemies, you can fly up into the air, go prone, and then they have disadvantage against all of the ranged attacks against you, and they probably can't get into melee.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't have really long arms to hit you as a melee, and then you're chilling, you know? I'll mess around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
30
gonna
feet is
say,
too much. Yeah.
30-foot arms. That's
I mean,
terrifying.
Yeah. For all you level 6 Twilight clerics out there, I know you were feeling a little weak, but this makes you just a little bit more strong. Make your DM's life true hell.
100%. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all for that one. I think. Just a funny little. Unless you had anything else.
I think it doesn't make sense, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because whether you're this way or this way in the air, you can still be shot, you know?
It makes literally zero sense whatsoever. But,
like,
yeah, no.
you could technically stand up straight and say you're lying down in air, and then you're prone, right? Like, yeah. I'm just saying, what is the orientation of prone?
Really
yeah, like literally, like what is this to a bow? You know, but I think it's a funny interaction. I might have to test it out. Test it out. Let me know.
Yeah. Okay. And then I guess on to the last one here, which is by far the most powerful. Mm-hmm. Surprise. So for those who don't know, if you're sneaking up on a group and your stealth checks, the lowest stealth check in your group beats all of the enemy's passive perceptions. They're all surprised, and they don't get to take a turn on the first round of combat. Mm-hmm. And then it's even better if any of you win initiative and you get 2 turns before the enemies get to do anything. Mm-hmm. And they even don't get a reaction until their turn that they don't get to take is ended.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But their turn still counts as progressing.
Yes, so something
that doesn't matter.
A spell, like Spirit Guardians, that simply take damage at the start of a turn. The start of the turn still happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they just get extra sad with Spirit Guardians. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously this makes like Pass Without a Trace like even more ridiculously strong, because if you sneak up on everyone, you're getting a full round of initiative before everyone, maybe 2.
Yeah, and passive perception usually doesn't get higher than like 15 on a lot of enemies. So like, if you're proficient in stealth and you have Pass Without Trace up, even if you're wearing heavy armor and you have disadvantage, even if you get a nat 1, you have you probably have a +2 to dexterity. Half plate's like the most common armor. You have proficiency bonus +2 or 3, +10.
Yeah,
you can't fail. Yeah.
Which is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've always missed D&D having like not like an instant kill surprise, but like sometimes surprise feels really weak, and sometimes it feels like with surprise round initiative it feels ridiculously strong. So it's really hard to balance in that way.
Yeah, and there's crazy builds done with this too, with like Assassin Rogue and like 7 attacks, all automatic critical.
Yep. Just kill everything.
I was talking with Michael in the car, the new Bugbear can actually be added to that too for an extra 2d6 on all 7 of your critical.
You would still have to go... No, would you still have to go before them in initiative, technically?
Yeah, you would still have to win initiative even if you surprise them, yes. But
that's interesting.
With the right build, it's fairly easy.
Just forgetting everything? Yeah. I think... Also, 1 D&D, not to mention it, but it did change surprise.
Yes, I like the 1 D&D ones a lot better.
And I know people disagree.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
First, I think it's a lot more fair. I mean, I like the surprise rules too, but it feels just like it makes fights way too one-sided. Just, I mean, in the player's case, a lot of times for free, I feel like. Just 1 second-level spell.
Well, and getting surprised at night is just even more painful.
And you don't necessarily have to like drop the concentration on it either. Like you can just keep Pass Without Trace going potentially for multiple fights because it lasts an hour. Mm-hmm.
It's a really good spell.
But yeah, I like the 1 D&D ones. It simplifies it too. Just you're surprised, you have disadvantage on initiative, and then if you are surprising, then you have advantage.
Yep.
Which, I don't know, it's a lot less impactful. But
I don't think having crazy impactful stuff is always as important.
Yeah.
You get Hypnotic Pattern twice. You can succeed the first one and fail the second one and still feel really sad if you get surprised. That's something ridiculous like that. So,
I think that's all we had
Yeah.
for this one. Let us know what you think the most broken rules in the game are in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time.